Hey guys, so I wanted to update you on my rides and get going on a ride here pretty soon. It's a beautiful Sunday morning, and talk to you a little bit about, was I ahead of my time, and actually was Esker ahead of the time, and Tim Kruger and his crew ahead of their time when they got this Hayduke going and they started doing this new geometry, a more aggressive type hardtail, and then it's kind of morphed into bike packing, which has gained tremendously in popularity. And was I ahead of my time when I was thinking of wider is better and going wide rims with these huge 35 millimeter wide? Because even before that I was going 30 millimeter wide when everybody was more narrow, and this in the front is 40 millimeter wide internal width. And I want to talk to you about that and a little bit about Wall Street versus Main Street. So Esker is a company that they design everything over here, but then they source their stuff from Taiwan or China or something like that. But it is a quad butted chromoly steel, and that's what first got me to the attention of them. Also, what got me to the attention was their portage style dropouts, which were unique. They could offer an ability to run that brake mount internally like that in between the stays and give you some different variations of dropouts. As you know, I have my single speed. It's got the slider portage dropout system, and you could even go retrofit back to 142 or whatever. So it gives you some flexibility because you could change the configuration of your dropout with that portage system. And I think that was a unique design, part of what attracted me to that. I've always liked the head tubes that show the headset with the external cup on the bottom and internal where it's a straight head tube. I don't think tapered is necessary. I think a 44 millimeter head tube is fine, and the Geo just was spot on. I just felt that this bike really connected with me, and that's why I ended up buying that single speed, even though I already had another single speed by these guys. Now my 7, I felt like I was ahead of the time with my 7. Now this was not my first gravel bike, but I talked to them a lot about giving me plenty of clearance and giving me room to put bigger tires. These are 700 by 45 Schwalbe G1 Bite tires, and as you can see, I got plenty of room in there and I can go bigger. So it was really nice that they gave me all that room. And this was a really nice frame design. It did have a little bit of toe over, which I later on regretted, but it still was ahead of the time as far as me pushing the envelope for wider clearance for wider tires. And then fast forward, when I got this one, I wanted to make sure it didn't have the toe over, so it doesn't have toe over, and it has a little bit slacker. It doesn't go all the way. I don't think it's 69. I think it's 70, or a little bit less, maybe 69.8 or something like that. But it's almost 70. This one is 70 or 71 normal head tube angle. So that really helped, and plus they did the longer top tube and everything like that. So now we see where gravel is going with the super gravel or super monster, or however you want to word it. I'm not sure if the industry is making a term for that, but you're seeing bikes at Sea Otter right now with 100 millimeter travel forks. And I was thinking of putting the 40 millimeter travel fork on this bike. You say, why wouldn't I use it on this bike? Just because I feel like this bike is the one I want to play around more with and having more for bike packing, and I thought that travel fork might work for them. And this already has the mounts for bike packing with that fork, and I can go with a super big tire. I feel like a 40 millimeter travel fork that the gravel forks are can be compensated with just a bigger tire. Same thing I did with my rigid single speed years ago, and kind of what I'm doing with this one. This is a 2.6, but you see how big it looks on that real wide rim. And that's again what I did with this one, with wider rims that are actually made for mountain biking, but I put them on my gravel bike. So that's what I'm thinking, you guys. So give me your opinion, Main Street versus Wall Street. Should I go with a smaller builder and just get something custom again, or should I go with another Escar? And it's still a small company. I kind of like that fact, but it is the parts and the frames are from China, so I'm kind of on the fence about that. And then I wanted to give you a preview what I'll be doing next. I'll be putting these big tires, 700 by 50, on one of my gravel bikes, probably on my newer gravel bike, but I might see if they could fit in this one too. So I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching.